The King Alfred plan was the blueprint to lay out to get rid of us by taking the leadership out of the community by locking them in prisons. It's still right there. You can still read REX-84, written by Oliver North and Poindexter, before the Iran-Contra. That's how it came out at.
Yeah, I got a tape on that. I just put
right. It came out during the Iran-Contra, and most of the people used to believe it wasn't true. Mm-hmm. The first people who was teaching it in the Rex 84 program defense was the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam said we had to protect our leaders. This is what the FOI was so instrumental. We got to protect our leaders from the King Alfred plan, is what they was calling it at the time. We didn't know about Rex 84 yet. We thought them brothers was totally batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. We barely knew about COINTELPRO. And if it wasn't for the Nation of Islam pushing for the Freedom of Information Act, we would never have got access to that information. Mm-hmm. So we'll still be fighting in the dark right now. Like, most of us don't even know that the legal teams that was handpicked by Elijah Muhammad became the ones who pushed to get the Freedom of Information Act to be able to reveal hidden secrets to the public. We don't know that was Elijah Muhammad pushing some attorneys to do, some civil rights attorneys that y'all thought were part of the NAACP, the Rainbow Coalition, and all of that stuff. We didn't know Elijah had that reach.
Hey, Rod, this the point I want to clear up though, because I can't let it go on without saying all of this. Mm-hmm. Now, you gave me the George Washington challenge. In the George Washington challenge, it says the Moors. I'm gonna do this to the Moors. So, like, we can say how old it go and all that, but I'm talking. We can let's deal with now. The George Washington challenge said they gonna go out to the Moors, stop the Moors from knowing who they gonna be. Am I lying?
No, you're on point. I'm with you.
All right. Now, the COINTELPRO operations. You know all about the COINTELPRO, Killer Clowns. Mm-hmm. In their operations, the main study, their library, they got the most information on the Moors. Why? And if they're instrumental in protecting the Federal Reserve, the North Gate, and they studying the Moors, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it?
Okay, first we gotta go back to the George Washington challenge first.
What we're doing by saying Moors not that old, it makes it like Moors not relevant today. When we say Moors,
the Moors are absolutely relevant today, and here's why.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to make that clear too.
Remember we did the catch term. Moor is a catch term.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that class? Yeah. Okay, now they classified conquistadors, Huguenots, and gentry. That's Spanish, French, and English Negropeans.
Go ahead.
As Moors. They knew we was referred to as Amaru. The translation in the English of the word Amaru is Moor. Mm-hmm. They're not the same people though. So we had to figure out it's a difference between a righteous Moor and a dirty Moor.
Yeah.
If we don't figure this difference out, which is in their literature, by the way, if we don't figure this part out, we gonna always think that we fighting pale faces.
Go ahead.
You get it?
Go ahead. I got that part already. I got the part about the more Zionist guys who came the back doors, the Jacobites. They were more.
Yeah, that's just the Johnny Come Lately faction.
Yeah, it's different Moors, right? It's different Moors.
Right. Yes. Even when you go to the legal definition of the word Moor, they're going to give you a term called a tawny Moor. They're going to give you a term called a blackamoor. Right? And they it's several more of them, but they all classify under the general term Moor. Mm-hmm. A tawny Moor and a blackamoor phenotypically don't necessarily look alike. $5 Indian. Original.
Yeah.
Right? Fallout ain't in the original. It's the same as Attorney Moore Blackamore. Right? Most of us don't know that the original English that came over here looked like us. Right? Most of us don't know that. And most of us don't know that before Christopher Columbus' voyage, that we was already assisting the Irish and the Scots in their war to get the Catholics. We don't know this because it's not taught as part of the curriculum. Right? So when we saying more today, more is an absolute relevant term. Under that banner of more, though, you got to remember the dirty more and the righteous more.
Right.
Right? Now, why do we call the righteous more? Only because he right. That got nothing to do with, but he's right about who he is and the land he owns. Because all of us not good people. You gotta remember that. All of us is not good people.
Right.
But the dirty more has no birthright claim to nothing that's ours. No. And they try everything they can to convince us that we are the same people while they usurping every attempt of ours to rise. And this is why they murdered Clarence 13X. This is why they infiltrated the Nation of Islam. That alone, the study of the infiltration of the Nation of Islam itself. Remember, Malcolm left and did a press conference and say that the Nation of Islam has been thoroughly infiltrated. That means it's a whole lot of infiltrators in there. How can they be infiltrated by Paleface when Paleface ain't there? They not allowed in, has never been allowed to be members. So if they thoroughly infiltrated, what do the infiltrators look like?
Go ahead.
Right? Now, Malcolm was writing, he was dictating the autobiography to Alex Haley after, not before, after he was ousted from the Nation of Islam. Because while he was in the nation, he was so absorbed in doing ministerial work, he didn't have time to sit down with Alex Haley and tell his story. Right? And it's a direct quote from Malcolm X in the autobiography of Malcolm X in reference to Elijah Muhammad. He said, I will lay down my life for that man, but it's not past tense. It's not past tense. Which takes us to another interview press conference that Malcolm had, where he's naming all of these names of people in the Nation of Islam, and he said that the people in the streets know I'm not telling on nobody. And he said, and the police know I'm not telling on nobody because they told me. And he started naming names. Who he talking to, first of all, is he can't do that. But he can put it in the public domain. And Elijah, a 9.9.9 out of 10, he's seen it. So now, Malcolm, in his OAAU days, the Organization of African American Unity, remember that? That's what he formed after he left the Nation of Islam. In them days, with the long beard, he's sitting there telling Elijah Muhammad, because there ain't nobody else for him to be telling. He can call Martin and say, hey, Martin, these are the niggas that infiltrated the nation. Let me give you their name. He couldn't do that with Elijah. Because now he's running a red herring. The red herring is to draw the heat off the messenger. Long enough for him to come up with a contingency plan for the infiltration that's took place in the Nation of Islam. And what Wallace did is what Malcolm was supposed to do. They traded places because Wallace didn't want to die for his daddy. Right? So what happened? before Malcolm get brought into, and they brought up all of the things about the girls and the babies and all that, Wallace already knew, but that wasn't never a point of contention. Wallace was sent to go to school in the Middle East so he could become Arabized and believe that Islam was being an Arab in America.
Yeah.
And Elijah kept telling everybody the whole time is the Islam that we teach is not the Islam they teach in Mecca. Right? So now he's teaching you these values, principles, and he's getting drugs addicts off drugs. He's getting pimps out the street. He's getting hoes off the corner. He's getting drug dealers out the trap houses. He doing all this stuff, but because he don't wear jalabia in a turban, his son don't think he's a Muslim because he's been indoctrinated by the Arabs. Right. Modern Islam from the Middle East is 2% Islam, 98% Arab culture.
Go ahead.
We don't got Arab culture over here, so Elijah couldn't teach you Arab culture because he wasn't no Arab.
Go ahead.
So what did he do? He used the doctrine of the Quran because he knew Shriners was instrumental in our imprisonment. He had already went through his Christian school, so he had already been Reverend Robert Poole already.
Right.
What they called back then a jackleg preacher.
Go ahead.
A storefront preacher. He went from that, okay, now how do I get this information to structure it for my people to be able to snap out of the amnesia? He couldn't get everybody.
So what Master Muhammad come in on that part, like the what do
Master Muhammad comes in on Masonic code talk.
Okay.
Master Muhammad is the perfect mirror when you're using the law opposites. Right? Far means to pay the fare or to pay the wages. Muhammad means the praiseworthy.
That's right.
Right? Now, the most famous picture is he's standing there holding a big ass book in his hand, reading the book. The message that picture says is study. Right? Now, when you're looking at Elijah Muhammad as the focal point, Fard Muhammad is the mirror. But who is he reflecting? Right? Not until you clairvoyant do you see clear that Claire is the praiseworthy. Big Mama. Let that sit for a minute with you, Elder. Not until you clairvoyant do you see clear that Claire is the Muhammad. Right? We know this culturally. When we know our culture, we say, oh, that's a code. But we don't know our culture. Let that white man up there talking about this white man God. Right? But we ain't never been deceived about our culture. When you go back and listen to the stories, the story is Elijah supposed to be drunk on the tracks. What happened next? You remember?
Say what now?
Elijah Muhammad supposed to be drunk on the train tracks.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, now, this is right before his awakening. Claire sent his oldest sons, I think it was, I think his name was like Hubert or Filbert or something.
Yeah, Hubert. I think it's Hubert.
And Wallace to go get their daddy off the tracks and bring him back home. That's cold talk. That's cold talk. The tracks is the crossroads. Right? If you drunk on the crossroads in ancient times, that was a sacrifice. You sacrifice yourself on the crossroads in order to meet the Baron, Samadhi. the bearing of the crossroad.
Mm-hmm.
But only he not gonna answer nobody but the women.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mama. If Big Mama didn't send you, you not coming off them tracks. You can't go on your own. But if Big Mama send you, she gonna have to send somebody to come recover your body before you get killed.
Right.
We don't remember the old culture like that. Right? So the mirror opposite of Fard Muhammad is Clara Muhammad. 100% perfect mirror opposite. Right? Pale face, chocolate skin. Right? Man, woman. Right? We never was deceived about God being the great mother.
Right.
Only we went along with the story, but they passed her off as a man when they called her Jesus. And all the time, if we go back to the Greek, we realize that it was Isis the whole time.
And that's why in the Pope office, their secret little room, they got the Black Madonna feeding the baby.
Right. Right.
So if Jesus is God, who Mary? Who the hell is Mary?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say it all the time. If Jesus is God, Hail Mary, Mother of God, what they make her? She is the God maker.
Mm-hmm.
Now we back in masonry, whether we want to be or not.
Yeah.
Because soon as you realize who the God maker is, only certain women are God maker. But all of the women that's God makers is heirs.
Mm-hmm. Right?
And they can't make a creator God. They can only make a ruler God.
Mm-hmm.
Because they the creator God.
Right.
Right? So she can only either create another creator God, a daughter, or she can also create a ruler God, a rightful heir, a son, Heru, right? To ascend to become Usir. The son becomes the father. Right? So all this stuff is understanding your own culture, then none of these stories is going to be the same. The whole Mormon story is going to be different. When you read the Book of Mormon, when you know your culture, it don't even have the same meaning anymore. What was racist in our brains before we remembered our culture is a whole nother paradigm once we recovered our culture in our mind. It's no longer racist. It's understanding the war protocol from a different angle. We've been at war.
The whole time.
We've been at war, and all warfare is based on deception.
They had to deceive us into thinking we came from Africa. We came on a slave ship. And then once we start putting the numbers together, the numbers don't look right. You can't, like, the numbers didn't look nothing, the numbers don't line up. And so now, you know what, AI, like I told you, I did the AI today, and it said another thing too. It said that the numbers don't add up, but it said that this was a type of lie that couldn't last. Like, it was only gonna last for a certain amount of time. Then it was up. It wasn't gonna last forever. This lie couldn't last forever. That's the way it said it. Like, this lie couldn't last forever.
No lie can outlast the truth.
Go ahead.
No lie can outlast the truth. Here's something about people be saying, are we really in 2025? According to the Gregorian calendar, we are literally in 2025. Right? It's not the calendar. It's which calendar. Right? Mm-hmm. Because every calendar is based on a certain point in time that they established the calendar's point of origin. What are you measuring with your calendar?
Right.
Right? The Julian calendar and the Gregorian calendar is similar but different.
Right.
Right? But both of them is counting time from the alleged crucifix.
Right.
Right? Once you understand the crucifix story, and then you know the contemporary history, the only reasonable conclusion, and you know how to look up words. Mm-hmm. The only conclusion you can come to is that Cleopatra was Isis, and Isis is Jesus. And the story they're telling you is the Cleopatra story. And they got a story in the era, and whether it's true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I can only recount the story so you can understand how the narrative is being skewed. One of Cleopatra's daughters was allegedly arrested and paraded through town exactly as the Christ.
Wow.
Now, if that's true, and it's contemporary with the times, and that was the last throes of matriarchy, because the patriarchs didn't take over instantaneously. It was a long, drawn-out 4,000-year struggle, right? So, if this is true about the story of Cleopatra, and they don't got Cleopatra tomb, and they don't got Jesus tomb, and we know Jesus in Greek is Isis, meaning they don't got Isis tomb, meaning they don't got Cleopatra tomb. Meaning, where's Cleopatra? In order to find Cleopatra, you discover Isis, and when you discover Isis, you realize that's how they know everybody claiming that Jesus is a fraud.
Right.
Because if you know who Jesus is, you know Jesus is the mother, and Emmanuel is Heru, the son. And that the people talking in the book in the red is not the same person.
Hey, yeah, I'm with you, Raw. I'm with you. I'm with you. I see how they switched it. It's a man thing because they were more on, even over there over there on that side with our people on that side. We was matriarch all over the land. It wasn't just over. It was our whole culture on the whole planet was matriarch. Since our nana, since Anu passed it to our nana, it's been matriarch ever since. So if you go over to Africa, I mean to Africa over there, where they say that because really Alexander the Greek left from over here, but that's another story because they found his tomb over in Illinois. They found Alexander the Greek tombs in Illinois. They cut the Freemasons covering it up. Right.
You got to remember you got to look up the meaning of the names because the meaning of the name Alexander is most likely a title more than a single individual. It's like the title of Isis. You be listening to all these women who had these past life memories of being Isis in Egypt. They all might be telling the truth depending on the era.
That's right. I can see that.
Right. So they all had an opportunity to hold the great mother seat because they was a great mother at the time.
Right.
Now, the same with this title of Osiris. Osiris just means the exalted father, Usir, right? And it's referenced by the Orion star constellation, which makes the children of the Usir the Orianos, children of Orion. But all of this stuff has changed over the millennia. And the hardest part for somebody with past life memories is to explain to you how it was changed and what was done to change it. Because the references is difficult to find because they still trying to bury history from the 60s.
Right.
Right? If they burying, matter of fact, you got living historical figures, and they want us to believe one way about them, but when they arrested them, they was a political prisoner out the gate.
Right.
Like Larry Hoover was never in there for actually committing a murder. They never said he killed nobody, ever.
Right.
But you had people running around saying Larry Hoover is a murderer.
Right.
He never killed nobody. Now, the next part of it is this. They never said he told nobody to kill nobody. Right? Mm-hmm. They said that because of who he was and his ability to influence, he don't have to tell the...
Okay, here he is.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Alex.
Awesome. Is my mic working?
Yeah, it's working.
Perfect. Hello again, Rod. Thanks for coming on. I'm the guy called Zale, if you remember me. So I got a question here. I've always had a connection to the color purple. It's always kind of stalked me. The whole purple aura thing. Almost every day, I'll have like an out of body experience where like I'll be lying down on my bed either right before I sleep or right after I wake up, and then I'll like my soul basically. I feel like my soul basically leaves my body, and then I sink down to the floor. And as soon as I sink down, it's like a free fall, like just a straight up free fall. And it's always like I'm assuming it's like a portal because it's always black. It's a black space that I'm falling on, and but around this black space, it's like it's round. It's like I'm guessing it feels like a cylindrical like pit, like a circular pit. And there's like purple glowing like hero. It looks like hieroglyphs. I think they're called those Egyptian hieroglyphs and runes. Excuse me. And then there's also the other connection to purple is I've seen my higher self a few times, and he always looks the same. It's just like he's around like 8 to 9 feet, um, dark skin, but not very dark. But his eyes are he's always glowing purple, like it's like a plasma kind of electricity kind of going through. And there's also another experience I had about a year ago where it felt more like a I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Memory, I don't know. But basically, I was in a room and there was a lot of these it looks like soldiers. They were wearing like gold armor and everything. But I was in a dark room and they put me in a chair and they were just like constantly like hitting me. Right? It was like a torture or something. They're like whipping me, whipping me. And then there was and then they were just whipping me out. But I was just confused the whole time. I was like, why are they doing this? Because I don't feel any like threat. Like it's as if like I don't know why they're doing it, right? But they kept hitting me until I got fed up. And then as soon as I got fed up, the entire ground became black. Like it was like a void. Everything became black, and all these like purple, basically black spears with like purple plasma around it just went up and just stabbed everyone, right? And then as soon as that happened, I'm assuming she's like a princess figure. Um, she looked very Somalian. But yeah, she probably I don't know, probably in her low teens. She looked very sad. She told me she basically long story short, she said this is something like it's like a ritual, like it's something I had to go through, and she didn't like it. And they sent me, and then there was these like giants basically. I was put on like a back of this giant. It's like in modern terms, you could say his head would like reach the clouds, and he was leading me to a city. It looked very similar to like kind of like a Wakanda, but basically it was a city or a civilization that revolved around purple crystals, right? Like everything, like is there's a big like thing about purple crystals in this civilization, and I just wanted to ask you, do you know anything regarding a civilization or a people or I don't know, like a universe or a world that has a connection to this purple? Because I haven't heard anyone anywhere in my whole life talk about like just mention anything like this. So yeah.
Well, one thing that you described, the tunnel with the purple glyphs around it, right? You going through your crown chakra to leave your physical body. Your crown chakra is purple. So you enter in through your crown chakra, which is not uncommon, but most people exit either through their heart chakra or their third eye. And then they'll see different colors. The ones that's exiting through their heart chakra, when they exit, they'll see everything in shades of green. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like a bluish color through your throat chakra. I forgot the color for the third eye, but most people travel through their third eye because they'll project themselves out, or their heart chakra because they'll feel their way out. But you are using a you coming through the crown chakra, which is some of the systems for training yourself for astral travel tell you to focus on your crown chakra because you want to exit through the crown.
Right on.
Right. So it's also right above our head. It's like a auric gateway to open the aura. And once the aura is open, you can exit the physical body. Your consciousness freely flows. inside the physical body, you're a whole light being, but you can't see the light because of the physical body, right? The another thing that you mentioned was the guys in the gold, and they was beating you, but you didn't feel like an intimidating threat until you got fed up. That's an ancient ritual of initiation to cause you to awaken from your, past life slumber in this life, right? You gave a whole lot of symbolism tied to ancient cultural phenomenon, like when you described the city with the purple crystals. There was actual cities in Atlantis that was crystals with different colors, and one of the colors that was prominent was the purple. That was called the royal house. So your spiritual rank sounds pretty high based on what you describing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. It's nice
Thank
to know that there was a connection between what I was talking about here and what I talked about last time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Rod. I really wish we could talk a lot more. I really wish, but yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Number is the numbers on his name was 444.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, an angel on his post.
Woo! Yeah. He's very high. He's very high conscious. He does a lot of astral, like easily. Just travels. The beings that contact him are really beyond most people's interface. Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Okay, last question we're going to take from Delmache. Hey, Delmache. He's very high. Hey, hey, Delmache.
Hey.
The beings that contact him are
She got to turn her,
you got your speaker on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was trying to turn
No,
it
that's
up.
okay.
Can you
That's
hear me
okay.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No echo. Hey, Rod. Hey, Flirt.
Hey, Mama Case.
I love when you come on the platform, Rod. You are a wealth of knowledge. We all just love you to death.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. I recently heard, I haven't had any time to do any research on this, but I wanted to know, since you're walking Google, if I heard that King Tut was actually buried in the Grand Canyon and not in Egypt/Kemet, as they have told us. Just another lie to add to the pile of lies, or what?
It wasn't the Grand Canyon, sweetie. It was Kentucky.
Oh, but it was still here. It wasn't even in Kemet. Wow.
Yeah, they found a whole Egyptian setup in Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. They got articles from back in the day about it. But they didn't want us to know that King Tut was discovered over here because we would have instantly knew who Tupac was.
Wow. That's deep.
That makes sense. We have a girl from our group, right, Dalmache? It's oh God, she's from Kentucky. She said she woke up one day and there was like crystals in the ground, like crystals.
Oh, yes. Miss Myrtle.
Miss Myrtle. She said she woke up. She's in Kentucky. She saw like big pieces of like stalagmite, like crystals coming out of the ground.
Yeah, in her
Like if they were
backyard.
growing.
Yeah, that's not uncommon for high energy centers,
Mm.
especially during this time period, because a lot of that energy, spiritual energy, we are being able to see it with the naked eye, and it's taking on three-dimensional form.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you answering that. I'm going to do some research on that.
Yeah, and in the Grand Canyon is the original temple of Isis, the original temple of Osiris, the original temple of the Buddha. It's a whole bunch of them over there.
Okay. I'm sorry, Fleur. I just got one more quick question. I'm sorry. Okay. I also